Hi everyone, it's Margaret Manning here with 60 and Me. Hope that you're doing great this morning. Thank you so much for being here. I want to just welcome everybody, the new people that are joining us every day and all the women around the world. I just got to meet someone from South Africa who was here visiting in Switzerland with her daughter, and we had coffee, and it just reminds me every time that happens that there are just real people. You are sitting there watching me, and you've got a life that's as complex and beautiful as mine, and we all are on this little aging journey together. So thank you so much, though, for being here. I want to remind you, by the way, to pop out to our website now and again, 60andme.com. It's got lots of really interesting articles and links to our YouTube channel, and also, of course, we've got our Facebook group. But there's lots of ways to connect, so don't ever feel like you're alone out there. So I'm glad you're here. I want my cup of tea this morning, drinking a really unusual one. It's called 3 Fennel Tea. And I didn't even know what really fennel was, and that there were even 3 types. And also that it's good for you. It's really good. It's got potassium, it's got a lot of fiber. Apparently it's got B6, and it's just a great tea. So I'm having my morning cup of healthy tea in my little beautiful cup. So anyway, I do hope that you're doing great. And a topic that I want to chat with you about today may be something that's on your mind. It's something that it has been on my mind throughout the years, and I just want to chat with you about it because I do think that in retirement or empty nest, we're looking for our lives to be full and positive and free. But we find ourselves kind of held back sometimes by things that were just troubling us. They're from our past, or they're things that are not resolved. And a lot of this is caused by negative self-talk. And not that we can just switch a button and stop doing negative self-talk, but one of our bloggers, Christine Field, wrote an article with basically 5 different things that could be stopping you from having a fulfilling and happy life. And the first one is just so obvious, but I say it sometimes, and I'm sure you do too. And that is, I can't do it. I just can't do it. And if you don't believe you can do it, then you won't be able to do it. It's like teaching a child, if you say you're never going to be able to do that, they probably won't. But if you say to yourself, I just can't do it, figure out why. Now, of course, you normally follow that sentence, I can't do it because. So because I don't have enough money, because I'm not strong enough, because I don't have any skills in that area, because there'll always be something. And as long as you have that, start off with that negative, I can't do it, you will always find something to put after because. Trust me. And so make a list. One thing Christine suggests is make a list of the things you've done that are great, that you've accomplished. Give yourself a pat on the back, feel good about yourself and love the person that you are, regardless of any flaws that are displayed at that present moment. Another thing that we say, another self-talk, is I'm not good enough. Oh, this is such a big one. I don't know whether you've all listened to the Brené Brown talk about this topic at TED Talk. I think it's had millions of views because we relate to this. We just don't feel that we're smart enough or beautiful enough or rich enough or, qualified enough. We're just not good enough. And this can hold you back in so many ways. And one thing obviously to recognize is that you can't compare yourself to an expert. Like, say, for example, you want to be a writer. You can't say, I'm not good enough because you want to be like Margaret Atwood or, with some other beautiful writer. You have to just say, I have to work at it, and I have to start where I am, and I have to move forward based on that. And so I think that you can't compare your strengths at the moment to the end result of someone who's done it for 20 years. And that's what we do with this good enough conversation. We just say, I'm not good enough because you're comparing yourself to something unrealistic. So that's important. That's an important negative self-talk to be aware of. Another negative thing we say is, well, what if? What if this happens? What if I run out of money? What if I don't have enough? What if my job ends suddenly? What if I can't find work? What if? And that is another dangerous one because that's life. We're always going to be looking at what if this happens. And if we keep doing that, we'll never make a step forward. We'll always be looking at and analyzing what is potentially going to happen. And I was actually looking at one of our cards about this, about being courageous, these beautiful inspirational cards that we have available now. And this one about being courageous really struck me, because it's all about dealing with uncertainty and dealing with that what if. Another thing that Christine talks about, which I think is a very, very powerful negative self-talk, is this chase for perfection. That we look to ourselves with such a critical eye that we just can't do anything, because we say, I'm not good enough at it. And people will always, friends or not friends, will always, highlight the things you didn't accomplish sometimes, trying to be helpful often. But that whole search for perfection is totally, in my opinion, destructive, because you're never going to be perfect, ever. ever in your life. We're just not perfect beings. We are flawed. And I love that quote by, I don't know, it was Leonard Cohen or Ernest Hemingway, but it was something like, we're all cracked, we're all flawed, but that's how the light gets in. That's how we see ourselves in a different way. Really powerful. Another thing to do is that Christine mentions that holds us back is generalizing failure, saying, didn't work. I tried to go on that diet. I tried all the things I was supposed to do. It just didn't work. So, obviously I'm doing it wrong. And you focus on the things that you're doing wrong and the things that you're not, achieving success at, and just making it a broad category of failure. Like, it's not good enough for me. And, it's just like, you have to live your own life within the boundaries of your situation. And that's part of the challenge, I think, of getting a little older, is we're not working with the same tools. Our bodies have changed, our faces have changed. We're not as young looking. We've got some medical issues, perhaps. We've got little aches and pains, or even worse, we've got, some kind of chronic illness, or we've got some hip replacement that we need, or whatever. But you look at all these things that are different when you get older, you then start to say, I think that you've failed, and you can't accept who you are in your 60s. I think that's such a powerful negative self-talk that we do to ourselves. So perhaps this conversation is touching a little raw nerve, and I don't mean it to be in any way what's the word, like a negative thing or something, but it's really a kind of a wake up that if this is what you're doing, then perhaps it's time to change. And, these negative self-talks, self-conversation, all boil down to one thing, in my opinion. And it actually is another one of these beautiful cards that I was going to show you, which is the one it was called. I think it was accept yourself, or love your body, love who you are fully. By the way, I keep referring to this deck of cards. Some of you may not even know about them, but it's Aging Beautifully, which is a lovely deck of 46 cards that talk about these kinds of topics, and they're all things that we can reflect on and meditate on. And here's the cards; they're just gorgeous. But you can find the details on them below. But with that self-love and that confidence and that decision to live courageously, we can get a lot done in our lives. So, hope this has been useful. I'd like to know: do you have some negative self-thoughts that are recurring in your life? Do you say things like, I'm not good enough, or I can't do this, or I failed before, I'll fail again? What kind of negative self-talk, if any, do you have in your life? And how have you dealt with it? Leave your comments in the section below. Let's have a chat. I really would love to have a conversation with you and learn myself. I certainly have a number of these. They're in my scripts that I repeat to myself often, so you're not alone. But anyway, please take care of yourself. As I mentioned earlier, check out our website. You'll find lots of great conversation there and support. And let us know what kind of negative self-talk you deal with in your life. Have a wonderful day, everybody. Go and do something beautiful for yourself, something fun, and we'll talk again very, very soon. Bye-bye for now.